This week in MXA, presented by O'Neill Racing, we're going to dive into a little bit of what happened at the Redbud National. We have some stats from our guy, Ben Bridges, and we're going to look ahead to this weekend's Millville National and also the Wugle National as well. Let's dive into it. I do want to start this video by saying thank you to everybody who watched last week's episode talking about the Mammoth Motocross race and our good buddy Aiden Zingg. It's hard to even make another video to follow that one up, but I am really excited about some stuff we got coming down the pipeline. We're getting ready to test a new Kawasaki KX250 Pro Circuit Team Green Edition. It's a full race bike built by Pro Circuit for the Team Green riders. And it was actually built for me and for us to test a couple months ago, and it's been sitting at Pro Circuit for a while, and a little bit tough to do it now after knowing that my good buddy is gone, and it would have been a bike that, you know, would have been a video that would have been fun to have Aiden on to talk about his experience with the Kawi 250 and to talk about his experience moving up from minis to the big bikes with Team Green. But now we are going to test that bike this week, and I'm really excited for it because we'll get to talk to Luke and the guys over at Pro Circuit about what it was like to work with Aiden and his influence on testing. He was a really good test rider at just 16 years old. He was an amazing test rider. So I'm excited for that Kawi 250 video and that test that's going in the next issue of the magazine. Also, we're testing some new Gas Super Mini and versus a Gas 85, and we're going to talk to the guys over at Gas and WP about what it was like working with Aiden in development of the new generation KTM Husky Gas 85 platform. He was working closely with them for about a year or so before Loretta's last year, helping to develop the next generation 2025 85, which was all new for this year. So I'm excited to talk to them about what it was like working with Aiden and developing that bike. So not easy, but I'm excited for those upcoming videos. And I also want to read to you guys a little bit of a message from Aiden's dad, Bob Zingg. A lot of people have been asking about a GoFundMe to support the family. Bob reached out. He said, obviously, this is a difficult time and I really miss my little buddy. Aiden and I have been connected at the hip since he was born, but racing brought us closer than I ever could have imagined. I really can't wrap my head around life without him. It's hard to believe how much support there has been from the community over the last week. Watching the media and race over the weekend, I feel like most riders did something special for Aiden. As special as we know he was, the impact he made and the support we've received feels completely surreal. We've received a lot of questions recently about a GoFundMe and other ways to offer support. However, we don't feel that reflects our values as a family, nor does it align with Aiden's values as an individual. Additionally, the community has done so much for us, and we'd like to be able to offer something in return for the unbelievable support while honoring his legacy. So the website is az39forever.com, and instead of a GoFundMe to support the family, they have some t-shirts and hats available with Aiden's logo on them. So if you guys are interested, you can check that out, az39forever.com. And I'm really excited about upcoming tests that we have to highlight just how amazing Aiden was as a test rider and how awesome he was to work with guys at Pro Circuit and at KTM and WP.
I want to start off by saying that that race then, I wrote my heart out for the Zingg family. We lost a really young fella this week. It was a tragic week, and my heart goes out to the family. You know, I pray for them that they have a speedy recovery from that, because it's never good having a young fella leave this community. It sucks. So my prayers go out to the family, and hopefully they feel better. That race was for them, and yeah, I put my heart in that race. You know, I didn't.
The Redbud National was so cool to see so many riders representing the AZ39 stickers. Even Malcolm Stewart ran a jersey with Aiden's name and number on it and during press day. So lots of cool stuff was shown at the Redbud National, and it was an awesome national for a lot of guys, especially my brother getting on the podium for the first time in a couple years. Really cool to see him up there. Also for Joe Shimoda to get the win. Another 250 rider can beat Aiden Deegan, and it's interesting to look at the stats. Our guy Ben Bridges has laid out the stats for us so we can give you guys some cool information to get you excited about the upcoming weekend at Millville. Awesome to see Joe Shimoda get the win, J-League Swole in second, and my brother in third in the 250 class. Interesting point, the only winners in the 250 class this year, Aiden Deegan, Chance Hymas, and Joe Shimoda, all have gone 1-1 in their motos. So that's the streak we have going on. Each 250 winner has been perfect this season. It's also the first year that Honda has had two different riders winning overall in the 250 class since 2020. The last time they had two different Honda winners was Jet Lawrence and Jeremy Martin, who won back in 2020 when they were riding for Geico Honda. This was Joe Shimoda's first win since 2022. He now has 4 total 250 outdoor national wins, and he's also bumped up to 2nd in the point standings. J-League Swole did awesome on his Triumph 250. Just a few races back, just 3 races back, after a torn Achilles tendon, he is on the podium in 2nd place. Such an impressive ride for him. He went 6-3 for 2nd overall on the Triumph, and Mikkel Harp also got 4th overall on the Triumph. So 2 Triumphs in the top 4. Very, very impressive for the brand who just jumped into motocross last year. Of course, my brother 4-4 for 3rd overall. He was really close to 2nd, but tipped over in the last couple laps, and J-League Swole was able to get around him for 2nd overall. So really proud of him, 4-4 and getting on the podium in 3rd. Really cool to see how pumped he was to be back up there. Hayden Deegan kept the red plate, 14-2. Our guy Kyle Berry was getting some photos and videos for us at the race this weekend, and he got a video of Hayden's crash in qualifying, and it kind of snowballed from there. He had that crash in qualifying, but then he also had the crash in the first moto. Bike was overheating a little bit. The Star Racing Yamaha team is kind of struggling right now with engines. My younger brother Michael at Thunder Valley, he was in 4th, catching up to 3rd in the first moto, and his bike started to let go. He lost power. Same thing with Hayden Deegan in the first moto at Thunder Valley. He lost power. He was still able to limp it in. He didn't pull off the track and DNF like my brother, but because he had such a big gap, he was still able to get 2nd. But yeah, engine problems there. And then my brother again at Southwick, while running 2nd in the first moto, his bike started to lose power. Engine problems there. Engine problems for Eli Tomac, and even just Cooper Webb ran out of fuel in the last turn of the first moto in the 450 class at Redbud. So that's just the worst way to finish a moto, worst way to DNF, make it all the way to the last turn and run out of fuel. So because he was pretty far up the pack, he still ended up 15th in that moto with the other riders getting lapped. But yeah, kind of a heartbreaker for Cooper Webb there. Question mark on Star Racing Yamaha right now. Hopefully they can keep things together for the rest of the season moving forward. In the 450 class, of course, it was a Honda show again. And it's kind of funny that Honda's done this a couple times where Honda has sponsored the National, they've been the title sponsor, and then their riders win everything. That's what happened again at Redbud. Joe Shimoda obviously winning the 250 class. Jet Lawrence won one in the 450 class with Hunter Lawrence, his brother, in 2nd, and the president of Honda was there. So kind of a cool story for the Honda guys. This is the 3rd time in history that Honda has swept the Redbud National. The last 2 times happened in 1983 and 95. Honda also has 2 sweeps this season where they win all 4 motos. The last time it came at Thunder Valley, of course. Also, the 2nd time in Redbud history that foreign riders have won. The last time came in the year 2000 when Tortelli and Stefan Ricotta won both classes, and that was the year that Ricky Carmichael got 2nd overall. He went 2-3, so didn't get the win. But foreign riders on the top step, Honda riders on the top step. Jet Lawrence now has win number 21 in the 450 class. He is tied with Ken Roxon on all-time win list outdoors. And of course, Hunter Lawrence in 2nd. Justin Cooper, awesome to see a new guy up on the podium in 3rd overall. It's been a while for him. And then RJ Hampshire making steady progress, and he ended up 3-6 for 4th overall. Really cool for him. Of course, Ducati showed up, and Antonio Caroli did exceptionally awesome. His goal was to get inside the top 10. He did that in the first moto with a 9th place, and then an electrical problem in the 2nd moto caused a DNF and a 39th place. But really cool for him. He's over in Europe. They're riding with Pirelli tires. They're riding with different suspension, factory Showa stuff. Here in the US, Factory Connection is doing their suspension. They're riding with Dunlop tires. So this is really a great test for Ducati, and it's a proving ground for Ducati to hopefully earn a rider for 2026. They're getting testing done, they're getting development done. It's great branding to have Tony Caroli on their bike, putting it up front on the start and running inside the top 10, but it's also good data just getting the bike ready for 2026 when they have a full team. So exciting for that. And then of course, Chase Sexton, he wasn't so bright in the first moto, but he did awesome in the 2nd moto, was going extremely fast and did push Jet Lawrence. Jet looked back multiple times after Chase fell to see where he was. He couldn't find him, and he just kept looking back, and that's a good sign. If you're Chase Sexton and you go back and rewatch the race and see how many times the Jet looked back, maybe you can find some extra confidence there going into Millville. Looking ahead to this weekend's Millville National, it is going to be the last race of Jeremy Martin's career. He's officially putting a cap on it after trying to make a comeback this year for outdoors and then having that crash at the Hangtown National. Jeremy expressed some hopes to ride outdoors this year and that he wanted to kind of put in a cap on his career, and he's was looking around. Then finally, when Star Racing Yamaha had multiple riders injured that weren't going to make it to the races, they said, hey, we got a bike for this guy. So Jeremy Martin signed up. It was a last minute deal. He told us at the Hangtown National he didn't even know he was going to do the whole season until the press release came out, and they said they signed him for the whole season. So he was planning on doing that. He raced Paula, he raced Hangtown, crashed at Hangtown, and decided, you know what, let's just focus on Spring Creek. Let's do the last round at my home race and put a cap on the career at the last race right there. So I'm excited for Jeremy. It'll be a great homecoming race for him, a great final race for him, and I just think it'll be the best way to honor him in his career, and I'm excited for him. Excited to see how he does. He's a gnarly dude on a dirt bike, and I think he's gonna do his very best this weekend at Millville. So looking forward to that. Millville National in the 250 class. Levi Kitchen was extremely strong here last year. He went 1-1 in the 250 class at Millville, and I know he's looking to do that again. He rode great at Southwick. He rode great at Redbud, but had a couple crashes that kept him off the podium. So look for Levi Kitchen to kick some butt this weekend. Hayden Deegan did lose some points at Redbud, but he still has a 38-point gap over Joe Shimoda in the 250 championship. Of course, Jet Lawrence has a 51-point lead over his brother Hunter Lawrence in the 450 standings. So last weekend, we want to say congratulations to the MXA Fantasy League app winner. It was Michael Hamper. His username is Sheesh, and he won the FMF either 4-stroke slip-on muffler or 2-stroke pipe and silencer for winning the MXA Fantasy League app. So it's a free app to download, free to play, and we're giving away some cool prizes. This weekend, the National is sponsored by FXR at Millville, and it is going to be a $500 shopping spree to FXR. Now that can get you a pretty long ways with FXR and their new gear, so excited for that. Be sure to download the app for free, play and enter your picks, the top 6 riders, and try to get them in the correct position, and you'll earn double points this weekend at Millville. So pretty cool. FXR, thank you guys for sponsoring. And also, speaking of FXR, I'm getting ready to do another national. So I wore FXR at the Hangtown National. Now we're coming up to Washougal next weekend. It's going to be the last race before the pro motocross season gets another little break, and I'm kind of a last minute on a whim decided to go up there and race Washougal. I mentioned in our last week's video, Aiden helped me put some new suspension on our Yamaha 450, and I raced with it at Mammoth, and I felt so much better on it that it's like, you know what, I think it's time to do one more national. I don't want to wait a full year to do the nationals again next year to see if stiffer suspension would help me at a national level track. So softer suspension works great at local races, tracks where it's not as rough, but when you get those deep, gnarly national tracks, stiffer suspension will help you hit the bumps and be a little more solid through them. So that was kind of my story of Mammoth. I felt really good racing up there on Friday, and now I want to take that suspension up to Washougal and see if I can do any better on it this weekend. So looking forward to that. Not this weekend, next weekend. And then as soon as we get back from Washougal, I'm driving back Sunday, 16 hours, and then Panic Rev Camp at Glen Helen, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, July 21, 22, and 23. There's still room to sign up to come and join us at the Panic Rev Christian Motocross Camp. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be training on the track. We're doing camp games, chapel in the evenings, dinner together at the track. It's a lot of fun. So we've been at Lake Elsinore, we've been at Verona Oaks, we've been at Paris the last couple years, but now we're back at Glen Helen and super excited for it. So be sure to come join us. We got the main track all to ourselves on Monday. We're going to be taking over the REM track on Tuesday. So we'll have that track, rinse it out. We'll be focusing on different things over there. And then back on Wednesday, we'll be on the main track again. So Glen Helen, take over, Panic Rev. Excited for that one. Check it out, camprev.com or panicrev.org, and get signed up to join us up there. And you can message me on Instagram. I'll answer questions about camp as well. So thank you guys for watching this video this week in MXA. I'm looking forward to more testing this week on some cool new bikes and talking about Aiden's impact on the industry and the different people he worked with on these bikes. So thank you guys for watching this video. See you guys at the track.